unit 2, let us start with the program and strategies for universalization of elementary education UEE. Okay. So, the main focus of this unit in the elementary education paper is that what are initiatives has been done in the past, and even there are some of the initiative mentioned here which is continuing till now also, means in the present, like that the Right to Education Act 2009. So, that is still going on because it is an act. There is a difference between the program and the act. These things will be we will also discuss. So, the main focus of this unit is that what were the initiative of the government in the past, what are initiative at present, and how we can universalize elementary education throughout the country, means what kind of a focus will be there in future also. So, these three perspective we will be discussing, and as right now I was speaking that there is some program and there is some act, like that the first beat you will see which talks about programs and strategies, and the last bit when you will see of your syllabus you will find that 86th amendment of constitution RCFCE RTE Act 2009. Okay. So, can somebody just distinguish between what is the act and what is the program? What are the characteristics feature of a program and a strategy? Let it include within that. And what is the characteristics feature of an act? Can somebody distinguish between these two terms? Anybody? No one?
Hello, sir.
Yes, please, Damodar.
I don't know whether I'm correct or wrong, but I will try, sir.
Yes, sure. Proceed.
Sir, that act means the government of India, the constitutional, whatever they made as per the context of the related to the part, like suppose elementary education is related to that context. If any act they prepared, so it followed for all universal, means all national wise, and relate to that if any implementation required time to time, or as per the requirement for the recent trends, then some programs should be uh, implementing for time to time, for whether it is for teachers or parents or communication, or anyone else. That is belongs to program. Means program can change for time to time, but act is fixed for a certain time.
Okay, you are correct to the some extent, but it needs some what to say, you can that is the enhancement in that there is some requirement. Okay, anybody can try. Salini, are you here?
Yes,
Ha,
sir.
can you try?
No, sir.
Okay, no sir, you cannot try. See, in order to achieve any objective, because when we formulate any program or when we enact any act, Okay, there is a something which we see that needs to be done. Okay, and behind that we have some objective. Without an objective, we don't have any program or we don't enact any act. Behind that there is a some objective. Like that we focused to this paper. The objective is to universalize elementary education, means elementary education must reach to the each and every children of this country. Okay. So, this is the major objective, but only formulating the objective will not solve our problem. How the problem will be tackled out? We have to do something for that. Like that, when you will see our national policy of education 68, 86, even the revised one in the 1992, even the recent one, that is the 2020, you will find that every national policy of education talks about the universalization of elementary education. But how the universalization will happen? Only making a provision or writing in the policy paper or some document will not solve our problem. For achieving that, we have to do something. So, for achieving those things, we either launch a specific program dedicated to achieve the objectives that we have formulated, or we can enact an act. But the difference is, when we formulate a program that is to achieve a short goals, short duration objective that can be achieved in a short duration. Like that, you can think of, for universalization of elementary education, one of the things that needs to be done, that providing quality infrastructure to all elementary schools, that is the short duration. We can make buildings, we can provide infrastructure, we can provide a blackboard and the teaching learning material and so, and by that we can achieve. So, when we will achieve all those things, there is no significance of continuing those programs. So, program can be ended after achieving those short duration objectives. Okay. And for starting any program and even the closing any program, the endorsement of the constitutional body like parliament, which is at a central government level, or a legislative assembly which is at a state government level, is not necessary. Only what is the necessary? The consent of the government, that is the cabinet, and more important thing is that the consent and the financial provision by the finance committee, finance ministry, because when we will run any program, it will have some financial implication. So, from where the finance will come? So, if they will give their consent that you can proceed, and if the program is well formulated, it will be put behind the cabinet and the concerned committee, it will be approved and you can launch the program. There is no issue. Even sometime when we see that whatever we have formulated to achieve those objectives, okay, so we find that after some time, suppose that we have launched a Operation Blackboard program. So, after launching it and after spending some time, we find that it is not going to help much. So, we can immediately end the program. Whereas when we talk about the act, it neither be started as we are starting the programs, nor it can be ended as we are ending the program. For any act to enact, it must be passed either by the Parliament of India, if it is at a central level for the whole country, or if it is specific to a state, then the state legislative assembly. Okay, Damodar, you were only saying the central government. No, a state legislative assembly can also enact a act specific to the particular state, like that for the Orissa state legislative assembly will enact an act. For that, the bill will be brought out to the house. There will be a proper discussion wherein the all member of the house will take into the part, and as per the outcome of the discussion by the members, it may be modified or it may be nothing, something will be done, and then when the majority of a member of the house will agree with that, means vote in favor of the act, then it will be enacted. And after enacting, even the government can also not take it back. Again to remove, suppose that you have achieved all those things, so there is no necessity. So, again it will go to the house, and then you can vanish that act. So, this is the basic difference between act and a program. Program can be launched by the government to achieve any objective, but for the act there is a procedures wherein the majority of member of the house will agree on that and they will vote, then only it will come into the force. Like that, very recently there is a 4 bill that has been acted. Now there are 4 acts related to the farming and farmers. So there is a protest is also going on by keeping the pro and cons of those acts. That is a different part of a discussion. We will not go in that, just be focused that the procedures of enacting an act. So those 4 acts have been passed in the Parliament of India, Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha both. Then it has got the consent of a president. If it is a state, then it will get a consent of the governor. Some state have 2 houses, upper house and lower house, Vidhan Sabha and Vidhan Parishad. So if there is a 2 house system, then like a Bihar has a 2 house system. So it must be passed in the both the house, like a Jharkhand is having a 1 house system. So once a government has enacted, means it has got the vote of majority of the members of the house, even the government cannot take it back. There is again a defined procedure to take it back. Whereas suppose that when the UPA was in the rule, they have launched some program. Again the NDA come into the force in the leadership of Narendra Modi. So they are free to stop some of the program. Like that, the some of the program which is run by this government, if some in future if some other government will come, they will also free to continue or not to continue those programs. So there is a flexibility in terms of a program, but when we talk about the act, it's a rigid. And since education comes under the concurrent list, so both the state government and a central government make an rule and act in this area. However, we know that there is a 3 list One is the central list, where only central government can make a rule and act. There is a state list, where is only state government can make an act and rule, and there is a concurrent list. So, both can do that. So, this is the basic difference. So, now come to the Operation Blackboard. Operation Blackboard is a program, not an act. Means before launching an Operation Blackboard, the consent of a government has been not it has been not enacted by voting the majority of a member of the house. Okay. It was designed to achieve a shorter goal, which can be achieved during the short time. So, that is why it is a program, not an act. Okay. So, this was the one thing. The another thing is that when we see the background of Operation Blackboard. Okay. So, when we talk about the Operation Blackboard, it was the era in the India where majority of the government schools were not having the adequate infrastructure for teaching and learning, because government was thinking of universalizing elementary education. Government has decided that each and every children of the country must get elementary level education. It is a compulsory, they have thought that government is decided to provide elementary level education to all children. But how it will happen? When the majority of elementary schools are not having proper infrastructure, minimum infrastructure, better to say that minimum infrastructure is not there. What are the minimum infrastructure? Minimum infrastructure includes at least sitting places, safe sitting place, because you just think and imagine of the class, what could be the minimum infrastructure required? Safe sitting place, teaching learning aids, and teaching learning, within the teaching and learning aid, the minimum thing that is required is a blackboard, chalk and a duster. That is the minimum learning aid. It is a paradigm differences. When we talk in a behavioristic paradigm, it is a teaching learning aid. When we talk from the constructivist perspective, it is a learning aid. So, what is the minimum learning aid? Minimum learning aid is blackboard, availability of a blackboard, chalk and duster. So, the teacher can teach, but these were not available. And you can think of, if these basic things were not available, so other things, I am not saying that other things are not available, like safe drinking water, clean toilet facility, safe boundary wall, electricity, and a proper number of classes, library, laboratory, other learning aids, tools of ICT, all those things. I am not saying that these are not necessary, but what is the minimum basic facility a school must have when we are thinking of universalizing elementary education? The minimum facilities is the availability of a classroom and a blackboard. That time it was not there. I remember when I have started schooling, it was just a informal schooling, not the class 1, 2 like that after 5 years of school. So, I was in my village, that is in the Gaya district of Bihar. So, nearby my village, even the every village was not having their schools. We have to travel almost 5 to 6 kilometers to reach a school. So, you can just think of children of 5 to 6 year of age group, how they can travel a 5 to 6 or sometimes it is a 10 kilometer also, 10 kilometer to reach to their school. So, even though the school is very resourceful, children cannot go, and the idea of universalization of elementary education cannot happen. How it will happen? Because the school is very much far. So, I remember even after traveling that much of a distance, my mother used to send me a school where the classroom was taken under a tree without any blackboard. Then we have been brought in the Chatra district of Jharkhand. It is not now Jharkhand, that time it was Bihar only, where we have been admitted to a formal schooling. But just see, that was the situation even that time. So, how the universalization will happen? So, government thought, if we are decided with universalizing the universal elementary education, then we must work towards providing minimum facilities to the school. And there was side by side, when we see the history of universalization of elementary education, there was an international mandate also, because alone a government cannot invest that much of money, because for investing there is a need of money also. It is not only that I will have some idea for doing some good work and then the work will be done. You have to think from the multiple perspective. The one perspective is the availability of a fund, then the other perspective is the availability of resources, availability of a trained person who can do that. So, multiple thing was there, and sometime what happens, even a government does not do which is what is required to be done for the education or for the other sector also. Sometimes it is done because of the international mandate, international pressure. So many examples are there. Even the universalization of elementary education is also one of the good example. Even the initiative taken for the inclusive education, it is also a very good example, which is done in India because of the international mandate. Like that, in order to survive in the society, we have to follow certain norms of the society. You cannot do what you think to do. Like that, in the international society, if the country want to exist, they are supposed to do which is the international mandate. And there was a two big hurdle, like finance and the management of a program. So, for that India got international donation, even some was the loan. Even now you are seeing the Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan, okay, which is now merged as a Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan, because Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan, Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan, Uchatar Shiksha Abhiyan, it has been merged, which is now a Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan. The Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan we have done with the help of international community. Some of the part were donation, as a donation, however, some of the part is as a loan also, which we have to repay with interest. So, these are the background of the Operation Blackboard to universalize. So, when we see the time of Operation Blackboard, we know that the first NPE in the India was brought in the 1968, wherein the government has focused, given the attention. If you have seen that document, you must have seen that government was focused to provide to have a universalization of elementary education. They have did some initiatives also, but that was not much successful. Then again in the NPE 68, government again endorsed that no, the universalization of elementary education must happen if we are thinking of making India as a developed country, because for a developed country a quality human resource is very much essential, required. You can do a lot of work, no issue, but if you don't have a quality human resource, educated human resource, trained human resource, all the things which you will plan will not work. That is the issue. So, the government of India decided that we have to launch a program for the universalization of elementary education, and for that the Operation Blackboard was launched, first program after the NPE 86. The first program was launched as a Operation Blackboard by the central government. So, it is a central sponsored program, means the fund that will be required for this program will be borne by the central government, and it was launched throughout the country. It was not some state specific or some area specific. Some of the program we are also launching by focusing some target group, like that one of the program is that a scholarship scheme for girls. That means that we are focusing the girl student, because they are out of school, or some program is to focus the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe. So, these are the some focused program for some population, but this was not like that. It was a centrally sponsored program throughout India. So, what was the objective? You can understand from the very name of this program. Can somebody of you tell that what could be the objective of this program? Anybody? Can anybody say no?
Development of basic.
Okay.
Development of basic.
So let it be. As I was,
Development of basic skill.
as I was,
Development of basic skill.
okay. So
Development of basic. All round development of
hello.
child. skill development, vocational नहीं सर एलिमेंट्री में तो मुझे वोकेशनल एजुकेशन करना ही था.
Okay.
डेवलपमेंट ऑफ ये 2 पॉइंट मुझे लगा था. ऑल राउंड डेवलपमेंट ऑफ चाइल्ड, स्किल डेवलपमेंट, वोकेशनल नहीं सर एलिमेंट्री में तो वोकेशनल एजुकेशन करना ही था.
Okay.
2 पॉइंट मुझे लगा सर.
Okay. So some responses I am getting in the chat box also. Sasmita is saying universal enrollment of primary group children 6 to 14 years, minimum 2 classroom, 2 teacher, one is a female, teaching learning. Okay. Then sir, it has a 4 objective. Yes, what are those 4 objectives? Adequate number of infrastructure, safe classroom, reasonable number of classroom, skill development, teaching material. skill development कहाँ से आ गया सोनाली? Okay, so we should focus on the now minimum teaching aids. Okay, Sasmita, you are right. So when we see the Operation Blackboard, it was launched in the 1987. 1987, as I was saying, just after the NPE 1986. Okay, and the main objective of this program was to provide a minimum infrastructure for organizing elementary schools. The minimum infrastructure for organizing the school. Later on, it was extended to the upper primary also, but initially it was for a primary school. Later on, it is extended to the upper primary schools also. Okay. Then the minimum infrastructure, when we talk, the first minimum infrastructure was that availability of physical infrastructure of the school, like that a proper classroom, sufficient number of a classroom, proper sitting arrangement in the classroom. These are the minimum infrastructure. A minimum set of teaching learning material was also one of the objective of this program. What can be the minimum set of infrastructure? The minimum set of infrastructure is the availability of a blackboard. Whether the blackboard is available or not.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think there is a internet connectivity issue. Are you able to listen me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Because I was seeing in my screen that there is an connectivity issue. Okay, so let it be. So the minimum set of teaching learning material means that making available the blackboard, the chalk and a duster. These are the minimum set of teaching learning material that is required to function a classroom. Then after this document also talks about the recruitment of a teachers, the number of a teacher that must be recruited in the school, and it talks that at least there should be a minimum number of teachers and the other learning infrastructure, like that the apart from the blackboard, the supporting teaching aid like a chart, like a map, globe, this kind of a thing must be available. The one set of a teaching learning aid was, that is the blackboard. Other set of a teaching learning aid was the supporting aids, like a map, it is a supporting aid, like a globe, because without a globe and a map, how we can teach the student about the geography, geographical areas, where which place is located, the location. Even for teaching a science and a social science, a different type of a chart is required, map is required. So, this was also emphasized to make available. In the latter part of our discussion, we will also see that to which extent we were able to achieve those things. That is the secondary part that we will discuss in the next class. In this class, it will not be possible, and some of the other point also we will see in the next class. So, this document talks about that this thing should be made available in the classroom, and it was also focusing on the number of teachers. There must be adequate number of a teacher, which includes both a male teacher and a female teacher, both should be included. Okay. So, in a nutshell, for this class we can understand that the major objective of this Operation Blackboard was the qualitative and quantitative improvement in the area of elementary education, both, because when we talk about making available the elementary education, it is a quantitative. When we talk about the qualitative, like making available the infrastructure, so if the infrastructure is made available, then obviously the quality part of elementary education will be strengthened. So, quantitative as well as the qualitative improvement was the major focus of this program. Okay. So, before ending this class, just we will have a small question answer session, and the rest part of this program we will discuss in the coming class. So, if you have any kind of a doubt or any question, now you can ask. I think there is something in the chat box also. Sonali is saying assess enrollment, okay, retention, quality. Actually, these specific word were not talked in this document, that we will discuss in the next class. Actually, these things whatever you are talking about, the assess, enrollment, retention and the quality education, these things specific words are talked in the policy document of SSA, Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan. Okay. So, that is in the Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan. Retention and enrollment, this document does not talk. This document talks
Hello,
about
sir.
providing the infrastructure.
In between this,
Any
there is one
question?
project is the like micro planning project. So what about it? Hello, sir.
Yes.
I want to know about this project. In between this, there is one project is the like micro planning project. So what about it? I want to know about this project, sir.
Micro planning is not a project actually. Micro planning is a process. For understanding this, you can understand in this way. Suppose that you have launched any program, or you are thinking of launching any program. Okay. In both the cases, you must have a clear cut understanding about the target group, their difficulties, their strength. okay, and the challenges in implementing that. Only formulating a program by keeping some objective in your mind, obviously the objective will be for the good cause of the population. I am not doubting on that part. I am assuming that it is for the good cause, but only formulating a program will not work. You must have an understanding about what are the challenges, what are the strength, how this will be transacted. For sake of example, when we talk about the operation blackboard also, you must have a geographical location of a school, and where the school is situated, the cultural practices of that locality, the educational status of that community, everything you must know. So, in order to launch a program or to make a success of any program, it is required to manage the program at a macro level. Macro means very small part of that program, and obviously the small part of any educational intervention program is the society. So, this is a process to understand all those things, so that you can make a effective planning for success of the program. That is the micro level planning, macro
Means
plan,
it
micro
will
and
come
macro
under
plan.
also monitoring also.
These are the two words. These are the part of planning on which we execute the program. Okay, it is not a like
Means it will come under also monitoring also.
it will come. That's why I told that either you are thinking of
Okay, sir,
launching
thank you.
or you have launched. So, if you have launched, then the other part will work. If you are thinking to launch, then the planning part will work.
Okay, sir, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Damodar. Anything else? Okay, so I think now we can stop this session here, because you have to go for other class. I have to go for other class also. So, thank you for being with me in this session. Have a nice time.